So in this video I'm going to show you how to check transits to your relocation chart. So first of all, you create an account on astro.com, and once you already have your data, and I showed it in the previous video when I was talking about transits. So once you are logged in into your account and then you have a person you want to check, so go to free horoscopes, drawings and data, and then extended chart selection, and you will have this window. I already mentioned settings in a few other videos. And then once you have your data in and you can put it in My Astro, you choose this person, and then here you can choose a relocation chart. But because I have the same place over here, first I need to choose the location. Let's say, for example, another town, and then I'll choose Paris, France. And we already talked in the other video about this baby's transit in the natal chart. So now I want to open this chart with the relocation place and check before the settings. I have Placidus, which I want, and then some other settings. So I want the horizontal style. And as you see, it shows you local space relocation chart. So we checked transits for January 26, 2029. It was very interesting. So first of all, what we see is that ascendant here shifts from Libra to Capricorn. And so we had before natal Pluto in the 3rd house, but now it's in 11th in Placidus, but it will be kind of on the cusp of 12th house in equal house system, which is interesting in this case, because this baby, well, not baby, like it's a young woman, she would have a lot of planets in this last 4 houses and 3 signs. That's fascinating. That's actually a very interesting case for occasional astrology example, even though I don't know this person, it's just an imaginary chart. So now once we know the relocation positions, as you see, it's quite considerably different, right? So let me check. So here, guys, I have a natal chart for the birth town. In this case, ascendant is on 5 Libra, and relocation chart has ascendant on 12 Capricorn. So that's how to check also that it should shift when it's in a different place. And here you see relocation for a specific town, in this case Paris. And if you want to have transits for a specific year, let's just choose transits by default, and then it will show you for today. That's interesting. I'll open another window and I'll change here for 29, because to compare it to the other chart. And you click transits and it shows you for this specific year. And you see, this is the natal chart, and here we have transits over here, like a lot on the, oh my gosh, that's so much on the 1st house in this case. So that's a very interesting example. So guys, that's how you can see transits over a relocated chart, a very, very helpful way to see them here. And then as you see, we were talking about a difficult configuration between Moon and Saturn, and Saturn is here on the cusp of the 4th house, and actually it's on the cusp of the 5th house and equal house system, because it's degree of the ascendant. Oh my gosh. So with this situation, I don't know if it's good to be in Paris for this specific person at that time, because the element of the 8th house in Placidus here becomes like it goes to the cusp of the 4th house and 5th house. It's almost like the 5th house Saturn in a way in Paris in general, like in any year they live in Paris. Although it's nice to see Jupiter here, but at the same time, that's like a puzzle, you know, for me. as a locational astrologer to what would I advise to this person to be in Paris at this time or not. Of course, I would check other, it's a bit off topic from here, guys, I get carried away, sorry, but I would check other methods of locational astrology first to make sure that I understand the influences overall in the hometown and here. But let's say if they were scared and they thought like, oh my gosh, I see all these transits happening on my natal chart here and I'm kind of concerned, like what should I do like in 2 years or whatever. And so we will decide together and analyze certain things, events and stuff, and then I would make a decision whether it's a good choice of them or not to go to, I don't know, their friend or relative to Paris. And I'm puzzled, like I would need to sit for much longer with this and also locational charts as well to make a decision. But look what's happening, just like constating the facts, is that moon, the element of the second house, gets into 10th house, which is kind of close to 11th. Here it's 9th, but I look at equal house system as well. I would look at porphyry too for relocation, but anyways, I think I switched to another topic, but hopefully it's interesting for you to see, like in terms of, in context of transit. I deviated from the topic, but this is very fascinating. I could take it for some other case maybe. So guys, in this video I just wanted you to show how to locate transits in the natal chart and relocation chart. So in the natal chart, Saturn return would happen in the 8th house. And let's say if someone was scared of this or whatever, so they would think, okay, so maybe I go to Paris and see if I can spend that time in Paris and feel better. But with this configuration, it's kind of hard to say like at a glance, because we have nodes in the first 7 axis, also not my favorite position. And then we have lots of load in here. Like complex Pluto-Chiron combination here in the 11th and the cusp of 12, and then transits would hit Pluto. Transiting Pluto is approaching, kind of my trigger soon, this square, T-square with Moon, Uranus, and oh, interesting, Moon Uranus is on the other side here. Well, Moon moves fast, it's just a specific day, but it's just a coincidence that they are together here. But also we have Saturn in opposition to Moon and then square to Uranus. Something to think about for sure. Like if I see something like that, I would check other prognostics also, and maybe have an alternative place for that person where combinations are like a little bit different, so it's hard to say. But in terms of whether it's better for them to be at that time in Paris or not, like I would have to do more research for that. But that's an interesting example just to show how much can change, right? Like of course we do not exclude natal chart. Natal chart stays, and influences on the natal chart stay as they are, like but here we have like another layer with the relocation chart and other influences. Let's say if in Paris there is a difficult line or something like that, like in Paris or somewhere, so I would already know that I probably would not want them to be on a Saturn line there, right? So in this case, in general. So guys, I think this example illustrates very well that just checking your transits and understanding where they are is really not enough for the decision making and for a bigger picture what's going on, because there are also progressions. We take a look at solar returns, at lunar returns, at perfections, you know, at solar arc directions, like whatever technique you use for timing techniques. And also I really look at the relocation chart and also like other locational astrology influences, like a few methods depending how exact the time of birth is known. So just making conclusions about a certain period of time only by transit would not be very fair, but definitely we can see some themes. And if we relocate the chart, we can see how much certain houses and spheres of life might be influenced depending on where you live. So that's just, I think, a good example. By chance, I wasn't planning to record it, but it just shows like how important it can be to look with a professional, with an astrologer, whether it's me or someone else, to see what's going on. And sometimes it just requires, and often, you know, for me, I spend like hours and hours to see what's going on and to make a decision. Sometimes even I consult, you know, I have a deck of cards which I use. I also practice an intuitive consulting system. It's a Russian system, and sometimes I check that system, also Hori astrology, to be able to, you know, advise in the best possible way, which is a very big responsibility. But anyways, I think I deviated from the topic, but I hope, guys, you've learned something from this video, and just a really good example. Let me know in the comments if you checked what house Pluto or some other planet will transit in your chart, natal chart and relocation chart. Let's learn from each other and research together. And I hope to see you in another video. Stay well.